Hi Facebook friends and family. Welcome to the fourth installment of the Treasury of Christmas Tales. Today I'm going to read for you The Christmas Mouse. Okay, here we go. Walter Whiskers was a sad little mouse. The big house was his home. In fact, he had lived in a mouse hole in this very same house since he was a tiny mouseskin himself. His little mouse hole had always been a warm, cozy place, and there was always plenty to eat, at least up until a few months ago. Then the family that lived here had moved out. Now there were no children in the house, no music or parties or fun anymore, and there were no good things to eat. Walter sighed, thinking how much he missed it all. Walter lived in the house with his wife, Wanda Whiskers, and their four mousekin children, Willie, Warner, Wilma, and little Winifred. They used to be well fed and happy because there were always scraps of food to pick up off the kitchen floor or from under the dining room table, and there were usually delicious tidbits to be found behind the kitchen stove. But now Walter and his family grew each day more hungry and cold, and to top it all off, Christmas was coming. What was Walter to do? Then just 2 days before Christmas, something happened. Wanda shook Walter awake early. "What is that noise?" she exclaimed. They heard banging and shouting right outside their mouse hole door. Walter ran to the door and looked out. There were people moving into their house. Rugs and chairs and a large green sofa were being carried into the big living room, and a huge piano was taking up one whole corner. As Walter watched, 3 children ran in. They were laughing and looking around excitedly. One of them said, "Oh, I'm going to love our new house." Walter called for his whole family to come and see the sight. Wanda and all the little mouseskins were delighted to have a new family moving into their house. "Now there will be plenty of food for us, and our mouse hole will be warm again," Walter told Wanda and the children. "It will be just like in the old days, you'll see." But Walter didn't know what a terrible commotion and racket that furniture moving would make. The whole mouse hole shook with the noise. The floor seemed to dance, and that night there was still no food for the little mice. But the next morning the Whiskers family woke up to heavenly smells, and there was nice warm air coming into the mouse hole. Today was Christmas Eve, and the new family was getting ready for its celebration. That afternoon Walter sniffed a different smell. He peeked out of the mouse hole, and again he called Wanda and the little mouseskins to come and look. The family was putting up a huge, beautiful Christmas tree. It reached all the way to the tall ceiling, and they were decorating it with sparkling lights and balls of all colors. At the top of the tree was a gold star. That night, after the children had hung up their stockings and gone to bed, Walter and his family crept out into the living room to have a look around. They saw the most amazing sight. "Look, Papa," cried little Winifred. There, running all the way around the Christmas tree, was a tiny toy train just their size. It had a big red and orange engine with 3 cars, blue, green, and orange, behind it, plus a red caboose at the end. The tracks for the train went over a bridge and around a toy mountain. Beside the train was a tiny toy village. There were trees and shops and even a mouse-sized house. Walter and his family could scarcely believe their eyes. Walter said, "I know what we must do. Let's have a Christmas party of our own." "Oh yes," cried all the little mouseskins. And at that, Wanda ran back into the mouse hole to get some old beads she had been saving. The mice hung the beads on a tiny tree to decorate it. They were of beautiful colors and looked like shiny balls on the little tree. Then Willie remembered some apple seeds he had. The Mousekins strung them together to make more decorations for the tree. Wanda even cut a scrap of gold paper in the shape of a tiny star to put on top. Now they had their very own Christmas tree. Then Walter went into the dining room, where the family had eaten its Christmas Eve dinner. He gathered crumbs from beneath the table. There were bits of delicious cheese, scraps of tasty bread, and even tiny morsels of cake. What a feast the Whiskers family had. Finally Walter said, "We must have one last treat to celebrate our good fortune. We will all take a ride on the train, and I will be the engineer." So Walter climbed up into the train's engine, while Wanda and the little Mousekins piled into the cars behind. Willie insisted on sitting in the caboose, and they rode all the way around the Christmas tree. Finally Walter said, "It's time for all of you little Mousekins to be in bed. We have had the best Christmas celebration ever." "Oh yes, Papa," cried Willie, Warner, Wilma, and Winifred. Next morning the children of the house ran downstairs to see their stockings they had at the train and toy village. The tiny tree and Christmas decorations on it, and there were small crumbs scattered around. Little paw prints led to the train. Their father smiled and said, "It looks as if someone else enjoyed our Christmas too. Why, I believe we have our very own Christmas mouse." Deep inside his mouse hole, Walter Whiskers smiled. He was thinking of last night's Christmas treat and all the many wonderful Christmases to come. That was a very good story. First time I'd ever heard that one. Anyway, it is Tuesday, the 23rd of November, a couple days to Thanksgiving, and I hope everybody has a wonderful Thanksgiving, and happy shopping on Black Friday if that's what you do. Anyways, and keep watch for the next installment of Treasury of Christmas Tales. Everybody, have a good day.